My name's Colin Worthington. Our guest this morning is rookie. Is that a bad term to say? Rookie city manager for the city of Carrollton. Been in office for about 5 months, right at 5 months right now. He's a former high school principal. I believe did some coaching as well for Carrollton City Schools. His name is David Brooks. I'm sure a lot of you recognize him on the Facebook page right now, having attended Carrollton City Schools. Maybe a lot of people who don't keep up with what's going on probably don't know. He is the city manager, and again has been since the beginning of this year. Glad to get him on the program this morning.
Thank you, Colin. Glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, good to
be
see
here
you
and talk about some great things going on in Carrollton.
Yeah. When I first of all, when I think about, you do have that sports background, and I think about a couple of local superintendents have that sports background too. What is it about I guess it's not the image I would have had in high school of my coaches going on to do these things where they're leaders in the community. What is it about that training and the education and I guess the drive that puts former coaches in these kind of positions, you think?
I think it's the leadership principles that you learn through the years of dealing with tough situations, dealing with parents early on, carrying a lot of responsibility, taking kids on trips, road games, and just being responsible for a lot of different activities going on, a lot of different people at the same time. You start answering to parents, on a daily basis at an early age, and so I just think a lot of coaches develop leadership skills through their career that translate across multiple job opportunities. And when I started out 30 years ago in education, I never would have dreamed that my career would have taken the path that it did. But I'm excited that it did. And somewhere along the way, I realized that I was in leadership positions and as a teacher leader and as a coach and then a coordinator and then an assistant principal and athletic director. And so about halfway through my career, I really started studying leadership and leadership philosophies and principles, and finding out how I would be as a leader, things I would do as a leader, as well as things that I wouldn't do. You learn a lot about what not to do as you come through too. So I think that's the case with a lot of coaches who aspire to be head coaches or athletic directors or principals, superintendents, that type of thing. I think they develop those leadership skills early in their career.
David Brooks, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. 5 months as city manager, replaced Tim Grizzard, who had been there for quite a while. He's like 90 years old, and he finally decided to step down. You retired from being the school's principal, Carrollton High School principal, last summer, and it wasn't long. You didn't sit out too long. Could you not retire? Could you not have vacations for a little bit?
Yeah, I took pretty much May. We graduated.
Took May.
The end of May and June. We graduated around May the 20th last year, and I was done after that, and then took June off. And about 2 weeks into June, I told my wife, I said, retirement's not for me. I was waiting to go to work. I knew that I was going to start with the city on July 6th. And but about 2 weeks into June, there's only so much grass that I can be fulfilled by cutting, and it's the best our yard ever looked. But after about 2 or 3 weeks, I was ready to go back to work. So.
Well, you guys have a meeting on Monday. I haven't seen the agenda yet. This coming Monday, you have a meeting, but you did have a work session about 2 weeks ago, and there were a couple of interesting things on here. And you and I have already talked about this one. Did a little news story on it. North Park Street Bridge with GDOT.
Right.
What are they going to do there? Are they going to take out the whole bridge? Are they going to extend it? And this is the one out by the water plant.
Yes, my understanding. It's a very big job, and they're going to replace the entire bridge. And in doing so, we're going to have to move our sewer line from where it's at. So just a lot of moving parts in terms of getting that ready to go. It's going to be it's not going to be fun traffic-wise, getting through there. I don't know if it will be completely shut down at times or if there'll be one lane. At all times that we'll be able to access one lane. I just do not know what that's going to look like in the scope of work. But, it's probably going to be 9 months to a year project there. Yeah, it's a very in-depth project.
Any idea when that might start at this point?
Possibly September, fall of the year. I think was the last I've heard. They've got, from what I understand, all the bids have come in and they're about ready to start setting up and getting ready to start work. So I think the last I heard was in September.
And I think putting a positive spin on it, I think we should be happy that they're being proactive because there aren't any issues with that bridge at this point.
There are not. Yeah. No, not to my knowledge.
It's just been around since, the 60s or 70s.
It's been here a while.
At this point. Last couple of months, City Council approved a rezoning for a property behind the Popeyes off of 27, a little closer to the top of the city line there. At Popeyes, and behind it, they're going to develop, I think, several homes, several hundred homes, maybe close to 100 homes. But there was a rezoning in there, and I think that intersection already has like a traffic problem getting out of that area, whether you're going to Aldi's or Popeyes. And you had discussed some possible improvements that GDOT may do there, maybe put a light.
Well, we did a traffic study we're in the process of doing that to determine whether or not a light is needed. We've actually done a traffic study there before. It was before I got on board, but it shows as of right now it does not need a light. But there will have to be something in terms of whether it be a right turn lane out of Brock Street. Right. That could be a possible option instead of a traffic light, or it could be come back that we need a traffic light there after we add the I think it's 75, 79, something like that homes in there.
Oh, they'll be okay.
Yeah. So maybe closer to 90, but it's.
I did the story 2 months ago. I can't be expected to remember.
Yeah, I know it all runs together, right?
One more thing that caught my eye as far as your latest work session. You guys discussed a low-income household water assistance program that might benefit some residents.
Yeah, we were excited to be able to do that. Councilwoman Bridges brought that to me a few months ago, and she and the director for CAFE, and we sat down and looked at it and had our attorney look at it and had our water department look at it, and it truly is something that can benefit somebody who's struggling a little bit or just gotten a little bit behind. You apply, it's income based, but you can get either $200 or $300 a year help in terms of your water bill. They've been doing it with heating and natural gas, I think, for quite some time. But the water program's relatively new. There's several cities that do it. So we researched it, and we just felt like it was a win-win. It helped some folks that, again, might have fallen on some hard times, but still working hard and trying to do the right thing and just help them out a little bit, get them out of a bind. So it would just be applied, to their water bill. You take $200 or $300. I mean, that could be,
throughout the year. Sure.
Yeah, that could be 3 or 4 months.
That's helpful. It's helpful for the city. I mean, because you're getting your bill
Absolutely.
paid, and it's helpful for the resident who doesn't want to get their water shut off. You have an idea how the application is going to work? Are they going to be able to go through the website? Do they need to come up?
Probably
to City Hall?
On our website. It won't. The application won't be through City Hall, so it's not actually a program. It's not the City of Carrollton's program. We're doing it through CAFE, and I can't think of the.
Is it CAFI?
Yeah, CAFI. Okay. And so the process will be they'll apply through there, and then we'll get the money. Will be sent directly to us. So there might be, so if we have 7 people who get approved, they would just send us a check for all those, one check for those 7 folks, and we would credit their account. Okay.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to keep our listeners updated on that. And I'm sure you guys will put it on your Facebook and things like that.
Yes, sir.
David Brooks, Carrollton City Manager, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. We'll take our first break. You can see we're on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any questions or comments, please post them up there, and I'll look at them during the break, and we'll come back and continue our conversation. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
As a believer in the power of education, we are called to set the standard by shaping and empowering the minds of future generations through quality education. Oak Mountain Academy embraces this philosophy, which is why my children attend this prestigious school. I am elated to serve on the OMA Board of Trustees, where together we prepare students and remind them to trust and believe in the power to transform the world. I'm Dr. Brian Bain, inviting you to celebrate our 60-year legacy of academic excellence. Visit us at oakmountain.us.
840, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, also on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Good morning. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest is David Brooks. He is the city manager for the city of Carrollton. Been in that office for about 5 months now. What anything that you were surprised about in the first 5 months? I mean, anything that you maybe weren't prepared? Well, I don't want to say weren't prepared for, but what have you had to reach out to Tim for, former city manager, the most? Did a great job and did a good job managing the city. But his expertise and what he loves to do is the water and the sewer and the infrastructure and all those. He's an engineer by trade and those types of things. So it's been really nice to be able to, with some of the sewer projects that we have going on, to be able to reach out to him and just he's willing to check on things for us, and we're rehabbing some water tanks with a water tank over on Maple Street. In case anybody's wondering what's going on there, that big drape and halo around the top of it is we're rehabbing that tank. Hadn't been done in years over there, so inside and out, and just to have him involved in those types of things, the different sewer projects, upgrades that we do, and then through the budget season, working on the budget, to be able to call and say, hey, what have you normally done here? Is this normally falling like this? And just to be able to I probably call him twice a week and try to run things by him. No, he's on call.
Yep.
That water tower, you guys going to paint it gold and black or anything, or put like a nice little scene on it?
No, it'll probably be a neutral color like now, and with the city logo on it. Yeah.
We'll talk about a couple of projects, and in the third segment, we'll talk about maybe kind of what we're preparing for in the future for the city of Carrollton. But right now, the City Hall addition that was discussed and approved last year, I believe, or maybe early part of this year. What's the latest on that?
We're kind of still in a holding pattern there. The bids come in, and they were more than what we anticipated there for the renovation, and then looking at the plans and we weren't real crazy about the design and that we had thought we wanted, and so we kind of went back to the drawing board and looking at some possible options. But we're in the early stages of looking at that again. Nothing firm right now.
And as far as the cost being higher than you guys had hoped, it had to do with inflation and wood costing more and gas costing more.
Well, it would now, but back then it was probably more based on the type of design, more contemporary type design that we were looking at, and so that was but now, yes, everything's much higher now.
Mm-hmm. How is inflation and gas prices affecting the city? What do you guys have to do to compensate for those issues?
Well, we've had to do a couple of budget amendments in terms of the higher pricing and things of that nature. But our finance folks have done a great job through the years. As I've gone through the budget process, going back and looking at previous budgets, they've done a great job through the years of anticipating, possible bumps in the road along the way. So I guess they've budgeted for a little more than we've actually used in terms of fuel, in terms of chemicals, and that type of thing. So it hasn't just crushed our budget, and revenues have been pretty good too. But it's still not just gasoline, but chemicals for the water treatment plant, and piping for stormwater projects and sewer projects and water projects. I mean, it's hit hard. It's things have gone up 30, 35, 40% just since I started in January.
Carrollton City has not raised the millage rate. I think we're going past a decade at this point. You see any reason for that to change in the coming year?
No, sir, I do not. I wouldn't. To raise the millage rate, I don't see that happening.
Okay. Bill asked this question online, and I had it on my little cheat sheet here. That property off of Alabama Road, Highway 27.
Yes.
Yeah, it got it cleared out now, and it looks like it has potential to just be a nice little green space. Are there any other plans for that at this point?
Yeah, I think we acquired the final property a couple of months ago, and so we own that whole corner lot. And so I think there's an opportunity there, and I think our mayor and council feel like there's an opportunity to do something really special right there, something really nice. And, I think when we get to the point where we're ready to move forward, which, it shouldn't be a long time, but we would probably take RFPs, requests for proposals, to see what kind of ideas we would put out there. Mayor and council would put out there kind of what they would like to see, kind of what the direction that they would like to go there, because we don't want to mess it up. We want to make sure we get the right thing there, because that's the gateway to our downtown when you come off 27, and that's whether. I don't want to pigeonhole us into people thinking that we've got a specific plan for it. We don't right now, but we would like to see what some developers would turn in as a proposal for something to go there.
Is it safe to say that you don't want a gas station there?
Yeah, that's safe to say. A fast food restaurant or a convenience store, things of that nature, no, we wouldn't want that there.
Carrollton City Manager David Brooks, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. I think this is a coup for the city. Ray Lynn announced that they're going to set up their new headquarters right across from the courthouse.
Yeah,
it's going to be big news for the city.
It is. We're excited to have them over there in the downtown area, and I mean, Ray Lynn's they're a big company. I mean, statewide, not just statewide, just across this region, and I mean, they do work in a lot of different places, and so for them to stay right here in Carrollton when they could have easily gone to a bigger market, that's huge for us, and it speaks volumes, I think, to their leadership. I'm very appreciative of them for their continued support of our city and being in our downtown. That was really big for us.
And speaking of them, they've got a big event coming up this weekend. I think this morning or maybe this afternoon they're having a barbecue contest right up on top of the parking deck across from Stallings. But then Saturday night they've got international recording star Mark Broussard performing at the AMP. Yeah,
we're excited to partner with them on that at the AMP and have that event, and just look forward to a continued partner. We've always had a great relationship with Ray Lynn and those folks, and we just look forward to continuing that partnership with them.
And since I mentioned, Broussard, and I don't know if you've got these handy in your head there, as far as the summer events, you got an idea of what's coming up in the next couple of months at the AMP?
Well, no, we got Broussard coming up. We got Drake White coming up June the 18th. We have July the 9th. I believe we have, I think that's the Fleetwood Mac Rumors. I think we have them July the 9th, and that's about as far in advance as I've looked. I know we got some music on the square. We're trying that out. April Saunders has done a great job. I think we have David Pippin up there tonight.
It is tonight, right?
I think so.
And it's going to be on the quadrant, right? In the quadrant where the coffee shop
Correct.
is, right?
Gallery Row quadrant there. Yep.
Is that going to affect traffic coming through the square at all? Okay.
It shouldn't. So we're looking forward to that. And they do a great job. That team does a great job making sure we got plenty of things going on downtown, whether it be concerts, movies, showing sporting events at the AMP, music on the square. To go along with our huge events, our big events that we have with Mayfair and Taste of Carrollton and Art Takeover, and they just do a really good job.
Let me grab two more topics before we head to our second break. Right as the pandemic hit, we did have a bike share program for the Greenbelt and throughout the city, and right as the pandemic hit, that was taken away. I believe the company went bankrupt. Is there any talks about bringing anything similar to that back, or maybe scooters? I think about I was up in Memphis a while back and just saw the scooters. I mean, people were leaving them just anywhere. It's a much bigger city, obviously, too. But any interest in bringing the bike share back?
Yeah, we're investigating that and trying to work with the company to see, if we can get that done. And we've started reaching out to sponsors now, and we would have to have sponsors and some to bring that back. But hopefully we can get that, and the same people who were sponsors last time hopefully will do so again. But we would like to. The statistics of that, I was impressed when I reached out to Ms. Studdard, Erica Studdard, our community development director, to get me the numbers on how was that a good program? Should we look at it? And the numbers were really good. I mean, there was a lot of people utilized those bikes that I didn't realize. So it's something that we would like to do. I'm not going to fully commit and say yes, we're doing it. We just got to get some things in line. We got to make sure that we get a company that will give us a reasonable rate, and then some sponsorship opportunities for people out there to come in and sponsor a rack. So.
All right, before we take our final break, recycling. Carrollton had to back away from that. I want to say fall of last year, maybe, and had hoped to bring it back by the beginning of this part of the year. I mean, we're 5 months in the new year. What does that look like?
Well, it's something that we talk about in our work sessions about every other month. I give them an update on where we're at. We're still 10 people down in our public works department, and I tell folks, full transparency. I'm not going to lie. It's not a.
Well, it doesn't make money.
Well, no, it doesn't make money, but that's not. I mean, truly, the labor is. We just can't do it all, and I'm very proud of the fact that we have never missed a trash pickup. I know mine's been picked up every time I roll my carts up there, and even during the pandemic, during the work shortage, labor shortage. I mean, we've always picked up the trash. We've got up the debris. That's the same crew that does our systems upkeep. They do repairs on sewer, water, storm water. They do they're going maintenance, daily maintenance. So that's the same group. So we've had to restructure how we do some things, but we've not missed a beat in terms of trash and debris in keeping our infrastructure up to date. So 10
jobs down in public works. How many jobs right now is the city of Carrollton out? I mean, hoping to bring in.
I haven't looked at it citywide. I know we're 10 down there. We're a few down in our water sewer department. Police probably 6 or 7. Fire 2 or 3. So it's substantial, but it's not to the point that we can't effectively manage the city, keep everybody safe, keep the water clean, keep the sewer operating and the trash picked up.
Are people not applying at all, or is it just not getting qualified?
Some of both. We're not getting as many applicants as say we've been getting 2 or 3 years ago, and then some of them. Are just not qualified for the positions they apply for. But we're hoping that gets better. We've actually hired some folks in our water and wastewater department, some good folks, and so we've seen that coming back around. It's usually skill specific. CDL drivers. I mean, we need folks that can drive the trucks and operate heavy machinery and things of that nature. That's a critical area for us right now, is getting CDL drivers.
Every time you say something, it's letting me go down a different branch. But I do need to take this last break here. Time right now is 8:52. We'll take our final break. This morning's Community Voice program brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy. We'll be back after this.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
I'm Michael Flynn, Oak Mountain Academy class of 1978.
Katie Flynn, class of 2010.
Justin Flynn, class of 2014.
Logan Flynn, class of 2019.
And I'm Marnie Flynn, current teacher at OMA.
My uncle Richard Owen Flynn, a founding father of Oak Mountain Academy, had a vision to see students become confident leaders who hold a faith-based value system in an academically rigorous environment. We are proud to celebrate 60 years of fulfilling my uncle's vision.
Our family invites you to visit the campus or oakmountain.us today.
8:55, about 5 minutes left in this morning's Community Voice program with our guest, Carrollton City Manager David Brooks. Talked about a lot of projects going on and his perspective on a lot of things in the first two segments. If you missed any of it, it will be on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page forever, so you can go back and watch that. And it'll be on our website, newstalk1330.com, in podcast form as well. I talked with State Senator Mike Dugan about 2-3 weeks ago, and he's hoping to get a bypass put on. Another bypass for the city of Carrollton. Has he talked to the city about that at all?
We've talked a little bit about that, and I think it's in conjunction with the inland harbor that they're wanting to do in LaGrange. Yeah, I would hope that as that comes through and they do a good impact study to see what kind of impact that's going to have, because on Carrollton up 27, because if you have a harbor in LaGrange, an inland harbor in LaGrange, you got 85 and 185 down there. You can get places, but if you're going to be going, west at Birmingham or above, you're going to go to I-20, and how you're going to get there is most likely going to be up 27. So to add that many transfer trailers to the stretch of road between, say, Stripling Chapel right there at Walmart all the way out to the bypass, on the north side, Columbia Drive. I mean, that could be very impactful to our city. So hopefully we would get the Department of Transportation would work to get some type of bypass should that come to fruition.
And that is GDOT's project. So if there are lights in places that you're tired of stopping them, it's going to be GDOT's call, right? I mean, because
correct.
I heard that was a concern. It's like, all right, fine, do the bypass, but don't put all the lights up there. So we're if we use it too, that we're not stuck in there. City of Villa Rica is doing this TAD project, and they're going back and forth in discussions with Carroll County. I believe Carroll County will review the latest proposal on Tuesday. What's Carrollton's perspective of a tax allocation district? Is that something that might be interesting in the future?
Well, we sent our request as the legislative session just ended. We sent our request to through Senator Dugan. He sponsored a request for us to have all redevelopment powers afforded to the cities by the state of Georgia, which would include being able to do a tax allocation district, to do a TAD, should we choose to do so, or a community improvement district, CIDs, things of that nature. So I don't know. We have talked about it. I've talked with other city managers, Rome, Gainesville, different folks who have done a lot of development in their city and how they've used TADs. And also have been to the meetings out at Villa Rica with there. So we will have a referendum in November that the citizens will have opportunity to vote yes or no on whether or not the mayor and council have the ability to exercise all redevelopment powers. It's not a tax increase. It's not given, the council can already, raise the millage, lower the millage, things of that nature. So, but it would give us the opportunity to exercise those options should we want to do a private-public partnership, say on the corner lot down there at 27 in Alabama Street. So,
I think people who didn't understand the TAD concept, maybe when Villa Rica, because they did ask the citizens to vote on that as well, and I think it overwhelmingly, was accepted. But I think all the people are a lot more educated on, what you can do with the TAD. Just after watching this go on with Villa Rica over the last year and a half or so. And Villa Rica, again, expecting growth. They're expecting maybe 5,000 to 10,000 new residents, maybe in the next decade or so. What are the numbers for Carrollton?
I don't know the exact numbers. I know that just so far this year, we've issued 106 single-family detached building permits for, that's through April 31st of this year. So we're going to grow. Villa Rica is going to grow. We're fortunate right now that we have good leaders in place in our cities and our counties that hopefully can make sure that it's good growth, that it's the type of growth that we want in our cities and in our county, and at the rate that we want it. You can't do, too much too fast, and but if you don't do anything, you're going to stay stagnant. And I'm a firm believer you're not going to stay the same. You're either going to get better or you're going to get worse. So we just need to make sure that we're doing the right things, got the right infrastructures in place, got the right policies and procedures in place to manage the growth that we're going to get. But we're going to grow, and I think that's why it's important to have the ability to issue a TAD or things of that nature, because that won't affect the taxes that anybody pays. It just affects the taxes that the different government entities collect after that TAD district is allocated. It will not raise anybody's taxes. So I think it's important to be able to have all those opportunities to help, develop the type of growth that you want. 30
minutes went by just like that. David, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to this morning's program and for watching us on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. Stay safe this weekend, and we'll have more Community Voice with Steve Graddick in his chair, I believe, on Monday morning, 8:30.